Many thanks for choosing us. Today, there have been two demonstrations, both on roads. Let's start from the Agape in the Central Municipality of the Greater Accra region, where residents hit the streets today demanding the immediate construction of their roads. Deep gullies and ending potholes and the absence of drains have made the roads there simply unmotorable. The residents blame this on years of failed government promises. But this afternoon, they say enough is enough. They want the roads fixed.
What you can hear behind me, fix the road. Residents of Agape here in the Central Municipality of the Greater Accra region who are demanding the fixing of their roads. In fact, what we know is that the residents here say those who have vehicles have to drive for just 2 or 3 days and go to the workshop because the roads are terrible. And we've been walking for just some 100 meters, but you can see from the feet of the people here covered in dust and everything. Madam,
I normally take Gali from Fota region to come and sell here. Last time my driver came, the spring spoil. Another time, another driver came, the tank break. Now I don't have Gali to sell. Why? Government in power, come and do something, come and choose our road.
How long have you lived here? How long have you lived here?
I've been here for over 20 years. Nothing has happened here. I am 21 years old in this community. There has not been any good thing. Anytime we will fix it. Now it is worse. Some people started it by constructing gutters. They neglected the gutter. Now the gutters have started breaking in. And that we claim we don't have money, but we always do things, we don't do it properly. Now there's nobody to take care of us. We are fed up.
So what do you want? What do you want?
What we want is development. Agape is a special settlement, a special city. You can see the environment. There's special buildings which are here. But we don't have anybody in authority, in any office, to fix our roads for us. So whoever is in the authority and is in office and is not doing it, he should leave the office because people are looking for employment.
I see, but madam, I see you clad in red and black.
This one, we've been all voting for MPP. I think this is our time. If they don't fix our road, there's no way we'll get our road again. So we say, Akufo-Addo, fix our road. No.
Able to fix this road. 20 years in government. Ayakobo 20 years in government. And she's unable to fix this road. Look at me. Said we are coming to do demonstration. Look at this. Look at this sequence. It's unfair. It's unfair. Look at this road. You can't pass this road.
Driver.
I'm a driver.
Okay, so
I'm a team driver.
How does it affect you? The road, how does it affect you?
Almost disturbing, then always going shop and doing everything nonsense in this road. More than some years hours. Why?
And so what we are seeing now, a lot of incensed residents here.
Every year.
And what he says, and as you can see, just briefly in your shots, these are heaps of laterites that, according to them, were brought here in just the past couple of days after the residents gave an indication that they were going to demonstrate. They say, well, all of these things are just, meant to deceive them. But MC is saying, you know
something? We are fed up. Do you know something?
Tell me.
Anyanso constituency, one of the biggest in Greater Accra. Yepeja MPP Kosro, Ebanu voter. Yepeja MPP Kosro. What is it? At least 5 years in Musimu Road. 5 years. And then we are waiting for them 2024. They should come.
They are waiting for them.
Now, my dancing. ready my gota, why toilet money panicho, Bonnie Bear, ya pamucho, if I'm mucho, and Yamaruna Kakwan. Yes, yeah, Cholon Femienu, after Lemana Befie, Bonnie Bear, ya pauchanado, ya paucho, why?
And this lady just knelt down, and she says that she actually sells corn, and she takes delivery of the corn all the way from Accra down. And for all the vehicles that are actually plying this road, we hear creaking sounds from their shocks and so on, giving indications of the extent of damage, if you like, that the road is actually causing to the vehicles. And I showed you just a while ago. Now we can see. We've been walking for just about some 200 meters, and you can see how red dust, you know, how dusty their legs have become by the red sand on the road. I'm going to speak to this particular taxi driver who's been driving here. Papa, taxi driver, who drive here?
Oh, I check.
Now, road no say an it's a Egyptian found.
Say Egyptian found. Say that you know. Say more than 20 years. Say
it's affecting us. How does it affect you?
Oh, it affects us a lot. Every week we have to go to the workshop to fix our cars. Understand? Then
okay, and so that's a taxi driver there. But I can hand over back to you, Nimwa, if you're there. We're still following them. They say that they are not going to stop demonstrating until the roads are fixed. We're trying to get some responses from the authorities here within the municipality as what exactly they are going to do about the demands that the residents are making.
All right, and Manuel Kranting is here in the studio with me. He's the one monitoring this for us. You were there with the people, and they presented that petition to the MCE.
Yes, of course, not without chaos, Aisha, I must say. A lot of the residents who protested today were really incensed, and as we could feel on the ground, they really did not take it lightly with the MCE. So even as their conveners, if you like, their leaders presented a petition to the MCE for Gas Central Municipality, Mohammed Bashiru, you could hear in the background there the residents who are protesting now, hooting at him and saying, you know, in the local parlance, oh, you know, just booing, and then asking him to indeed get the roads fixed. This conversation has been going on for, you know, at least 2 decades. For some of the people who I spoke to, say they've been living there for about 20 years. None of the roads there have been fixed. And so for now, with all the promises that they have been getting from successive governments, this is the height of it. If the roads are not fixed, then they are not going to stop the demonstrations. One of the taxi drivers actually spoke to me and said that this is just a tip of the iceberg. They're going to have more protests to get government to appreciate the extent of their issues.
But the MCE himself has been responding to their plight. What has he been telling them?
Well, so he says, well, he's one of the newly appointed, if you like, MCEs. And so he says that he's been in office for just a short while. But what he knows is that the roads have been awarded on contract, except as we found today on the ground, the contractors were not on site. And this has actually been going on for at least 3 years with the contractors being away. And so he says that he's been in touch with the Department of Urban Roads, and now they are getting at least a temporary solution
to the problem.
Exactly. Which is to grade the roads. We saw some laterite, you know, heaps of laterite and gravels on the road, and they are going to use that to fill the potholes in the meantime as they wait to get the contractor back on site. What he told us is that if the contractor does not come back to site, they are going to use their influence as a municipal assembly to get the contract abrogated. He, however, says that this particular demonstration that we saw today was needless because he's already working on it. We can listen to him.
MCE, did he also explain to the protesters why we are where we are?
Well, one thing
he may be new in office, but definitely they were handing over notes to him.
Well, definitely there were. One thing he said is that he actually did not know of the intention to demonstrate today. He only picked that up in on social media, and then within the mass media. And so after picking it up, he approached them and had a conversation with them. He even mentioned yesterday he spoke to the residents there and some of the taxi drivers who promised not to embark on the demonstration. However, he woke up today to find out they're actually demonstrating. He alleges that there may be political, machinations behind the residents wanting to make government unpopular. And so that is his own thinking about this particular one. But like he told me, they've gotten the Department of Urban Roads ready. They have asked for a report on the progress of work so that they can take a definitive action on the situation.
We'll get that the MCA's response for you shortly, but let's also turn our attention to the Bono region, where hundreds of Sunyani residents are demanding that poor roads, stall airport rehabilitation, abandoned library projects, water system, among many others, are affecting the development of Sunyani and the Bono region. Let's go live now to Sunyani and speak to my correspondent, Precious Semevo, who was there for us. Precious, what exactly do these angry protesters want from government?
All right, so Aisha, the protesters, it's not their anger, their agitation, their lamentation, according to the organizers, led by the Sunyani Youth Development Association. It's not directed specifically. Government continue to change them, make promises to them, start projects, but it's abandoned on the way. Now, some of the projects that they cut off dates back to 50 years ago, some 20 years ago, particularly the Center for Culture building dates back to 50 years ago, and it is yet to be completed. The children's library or the regional library, which started over 20 years ago, is also yet to be completed. Now, the Sunyani Airport, which rehabilitation commenced sometime in 2019, is also yet to be completed. Roads within the Sunyani municipality, roads, the new Doma stretch heading towards Petitions and all that has been on a slow pace, as well as some other roads. They talk about educational infrastructure. Now, on that score, their concern really is that most of the educational infrastructure in the Sunyani municipality, particularly on tertiary level, it's a conversion of old educational institutions into new ones. The Sunyani Technical University now used to be Sunyani Technical Institute. It was converted into Sunyani Polytechnic and now Sunyani Technical University. Other regions, they are saying that they still hold on to their technical institutions before a new technical university was put up for them. The University of Energy and Natural Resources, which used to be a campus of the University University, but that has also been converted. And they are saying that if you go to other regions, new.
Hello. We lost Precious Semevo there from Sunyani, telling us about the demands of these protesters, and definitely we'll get to know who took their petition and what has been the response. But we can also come back to Agape and listen to the MCE of the area.
What else if it is not politically motivated? What else do they expect? But we thank God that it ended peacefully. We are very tolerant, and you saw the high level of tolerance we exhibited throughout their demonstration, though they were misbehaving and they were provocative enough. But still, we calm people who wanted. Look, there was going to be a counter demonstration. You know why? The counter demonstration was that to offset the fear of losing this work that is going on. All that we managed to calm people down. We told them that allowed them to just do whatever they want to do after all. So if they could dress in NDC colors and come there and be hooting will solve their problem. Let the hooting, how can hooting go and fix the road for them? The road is being fixed as we are talking now. So their demonstration, after a series of explanation, they've never had or they've never written a letter to me. They've never met me to discuss with me. Oh, my road is bad, and then what are you doing about it? For me to tell them, oh, we have done A, B, C, D. So wait, with timelines, you see action. They didn't do all that until ahead of their demonstration, and then went and met them yesterday. So if it is well intended, if it's well intended, you saw the few people who came out initially before the intervention. They were expecting 5,000 people, less than 100 people. Most of them dressed in NDC colors to come and then just cause mayhem. The morning when I came, the block road, I removed it and told them that, hey, we not tolerate lawlessness. So that is it. It will be fixed. We will compact the gravel whilst we wait for the contractor.
Is there a timeline for us to expect the contractor to return on site, or maybe an abrogation of the contract?
That is it. You have said it right. It's two things. Either he comes back to site, or we influence the termination of the contract so that it will be re-awarded.
Okay. Are we giving the contractor an ultimatum?
The contract was not awarded by the assembly, so I think it was awarded somewhere else. So what we have to do is to present a report to them about the progress of work, and that will influence their next.
Let's go back to Sunyani, where Precious Semevo has been monitoring that process for us. Precious, were they able to present a petition, and who received that petition? Hello, Precious Semevo. I'm asking if the protesters...
Yeah, hello.
Yes, were they able to channel their concerns to authorities? Who received it on behalf of government?
Now, Aisha, the conveners or the organizers of the demonstration did not present a petition to either the Sunyani Municipal Assembly, neither did they present a petition to the Regional Coordinating Council, the regional minister. Now, what they did was they marched to the Bono Ahafo Regional House of Chiefs, where they presented the petition, and it was received by the vice of the house, Okochiri Domse Chiako II, who is also the paramount chief. Now, when I asked the president of the Sunyani Youth Development Association as to why they made that move, his explanation was that they have on several occasions made attempts, communicated with all these local government institutions of government, that is the assembly and then the regional coordinating office. But they had no response whatsoever of their several engagements, and specifically he said not less than 7. And so for that reason, they do not have trust, they do not believe that if they are to present a petition to same institutions again to get to the destination that they require. That is also president. They believe that the traditional authorities are revered, they often have engagement with the president, and they are trusting that they will spearhead this with the patient to the president. Now, actually, let me say that what you can see behind me is the Sunyani Coronation Park, and it is this Coronation Park that started the agitation. Now, when the finance minister, Ken Oforiatta, during the presentation of the budget, made mention that provision has been made for the rehabilitation of the Coronation Park. That did not go down well with the residents in Sunyani and Bono region for that matter, and that caused the agitation. And they started listing all the projects started and abandoned, and they believe that they deserve a new venue. This should be maintained, but they deserve a new venue. Now, they are saying that if nothing is done, they are going to have a spontaneous protest across the region, but they are believing that their action is not directly targeted at the president because some of their challenges or some of the things that they are lamenting on date back to 20 years ago, 50 years ago, but they are hoping that the president will come to their aid and ensure that they also have their share of the national cake as far as infrastructure is concerned, education, health, the airport rehabilitation, roads, the stadium, and many other concerns that the protesters raised. And I must add that it was peaceful in nature. There were enough protection from the police, and generally we can say that it was a peaceful protest.
Precious Semevo is a man who followed the demonstration for JoyNews.